Hi everyone. I wanted to record a quick walk through the course to kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at. This is your course. Yours looks very similar to this one, even though it's not yours that you're seeing here. So on the top, you have these, you can go to the different places: course content, calendar, discussions, gradebook, and messages. So you click on each of these, right, and you get to those. Your gradebook is going to look a little different from my gradebook, and messages are here. Messages in Blackboard are a pain. Don't use messages with me. Please just send me an email. I look at messages periodically, but they're really hard to work with. So I try to avoid them. In the course content, you see a couple of different folders now. And so each week there's going to be a new one. So there's scientific method and experimental design and natural selection in there now. Each week there's going to be a new one that's going to be added to that. For you guys in the summer, they'll come really quickly. Um, in here, you've got general resources. There's a link to that questions discussion board. If you have any questions, just click on it, ask them there. Sadly, Ultra doesn't have a notification button yet, that the way Blackboard Learn used to, where I would find out that if you asked a question. So I got to troll in there every once in a while and look to see if there's something there. Um, so if there's something pressing, time sensitive, probably not the place to ask it, unless you want to ask all of your classmates at the same time, right? Online tutoring, quick introduction to Blackboard. So these are just general resources. And if there are more resources, I will put them in there. Start here. There's the course syllabus. So click on course syllabus. There is a folder that contains your syllabus. When you click on it, in this folder here is the syllabus. Click on it, it'll open up, and it'll tell you things like, formatting is a pain. Um, it'll tell you things like, so print this thing out. Um, there's no textbook required. Um, you paid a course fee for Labster. We need to still figure out how to get this into Blackboard, but that should happen quickly. Um, there's a textbook, an OER, Open Educational Free Resource textbook, available if you don't want to, if you don't have a bio book already anyway. The You're going to have quizzes, Labster simulations, question sets, and exams. And I'll show you in just a second. So basically, each week you're going to get a lab handout, and in that lab handout, it'll explain the background information, what you need. It'll explain the experiment that you're going to do. And because you're not going to do many of the experiments, then it may include videos or other ways that you can get an idea of what the experiment is, or you are going to be able to do something. Um, and then you're going to fill out a question set. That's usually those would be the things that you would have filled out in the lab handout. So the question sets usually are the back part of the lab handout. There are quizzes. In addition to that, those are the lecture quizzes. Those basically test your background information. Before you should take those before you do the question sets. Exams are going to be multiple choice, online, not proctored, and each exam is going to cover about half of the material. They're not cumulative. And what else do I need to tell you? And the materials comes from both the background information, as well as the items you figured out in the question sets. I will accept things late, up to 7 days. After 7 days, I reserve the right of not accepting anything anymore. Um, if you see it in the course shell, you can still turn it in. So if so, the 7 days late is a soft deadline. I mean, it's a soft slash hard deadline. Um, but if I leave the assignment open longer, you see it, you can turn it in. Makeups exams, I hope we don't need those. You have plenty of time to take the exam. Exams are worth 20% of your grade. Quizzes, labs to simulation, each of them, basically everything is worth 20% of your grade. Before the midterm, you can withdraw without my permission. After the midterm, you have to get permission from me. And the first couple of weeks, and these due dates are a way to try to squeeze a 14-week class into a 6-week class. So the hits are going to just keep on coming. We've got so you should try to get these first 3 sets done in this first week. You should try to get the next 3 sets done in the second week, so that we can then do the exam. I'm giving you all week for the exam, so you can play a little catch up if need be. But the kinds of things we're going to be looking at is scientific method, evolution, chemistry of macromolecules and enzymes, simple microscopy, and then we're going to talk about the cell cycle. Here comes the lab exam, and in that week we're going to review all of that material. So we are going to meet in that week to talk about what you need to talk about. And then we've got simple organisms, animal kingdom. You're identifying some skulls. We're going to look at a fetal pig, pictures of one anyway. Plant kingdom, you're going to identify some leaves, and then we're going to talk about survivorship and population biology. And that's basically it for the syllabus. So the next thing is going to be the course instructor. That's me. You can call me. Oh, that's not my phone number. It is 859. I'm going to have to correct that. And then there are academic resources and other things that are in here that are kind of general information. Each week, you're going to find a folder. The folders are always going to be structured exactly the same way. There's going to be an overview, a section that says to know, that's the background info. To see, those are the demonstrations you need to be looking at in order to be able to do the experiments. And then comes the assignment and optional materials. So overview is always going to talk to you about the concept, why it matters, what we're doing here. Module activities, there's usually a walkthrough where I talk to you about what are the things that you're going to be doing this week. I'm a big fan of videos. After the background, you're going to get the here's the lab handout I told you about. So if you click on the lab handout, it's always going to be in a folder, and there are going to be a number of different things in that folder. The lab handout being one of them. All the PowerPoints that go along with, like the lecture PowerPoints, all of those things, those are all in that folder. The question sets can be found in that folder. And usually everything is in there in a PDF or in a Word document. So if you have any trouble opening any of them, let me know. You need to be logged in with your KCTCS email address in order to be able to get to them. But that's where all those things are. There's a lecture, and like I said, the PowerPoint is right on that in that folder. This is an optional little discussion about basically hypotheses. Then here is a demonstration of the demo, the lab part of the demo. And in this particular case, you're going to work with termites, and I'm going to talk specifically about that in the assignment itself. But then you get to the assignments. Again, lab handout, question set. Sometimes I made a completion checklist. Those are not complete. I still got to work on completing all the completion checklists. And then the assignments, you always have a quiz, a lecture quiz. Then you have the handout question set. And then usually you're going to have some Labster activity, but not today because I still need to hear from the Labster guy. And that's, I think, it for. So each week, and then there's optional materials if you want to. And each week, so for each of the topics we're going to cover, there's going to be a new module. This week, you should at least go through the scientific method and the evolution. And if you can get to the chemistry of macromolecules, which I'll open shortly, it would be good. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put it on the questions board, or and on the questions board, if you have a question that you think somebody else may benefit from, put it on the questions board. And I will now make the recordings for the different items.